All right, first ever Skool live strategy session. Obviously, recording it is going to be posted inside of the Skool community, and I appreciate everybody that voted on our first ever Thursday poll. Basically letting me know what you wanted to learn or what you wanted to focus on for today's call. We did have a little bit of like a mixed poll, right? So it was pretty even with the numbers between three. I think one was beating procrastination. One was mindset shifts, and I think one was time management and energy management. So those three were the favorited posts. So I did decide to, we're going to be talking about mindset shifts today. I think that this is a very, very important topic that's going to enhance the beating procrastination. It's also going to enhance the time management and where we are putting our focus, and everything that way. um did I just did I open that? All right, here we go.
That was me. I'm sorry. Did that affect the meeting? I'm sorry.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I wonder how that let that go though.
I clicked whiteboard. I won't hit anything while you're
That's
talking.
okay. That's all right. First, if that's the first challenge of these calls, I'm good with it. But we're jumping into it. So what I want to talk about is the inner game, right? For entrepreneurs. We live a different lifestyle. We live at a different layer of stress than most people, right? We don't get to say, "Hey, I'm going to work overtime this weekend," and next thing you know, we get an extra 200, $500,000 in our paycheck. For us, our overtime is sometimes not seen, right? Not matched in terms of finances. Obviously, we want to get to a point where it's, hey, when I do this, I get this result, right? When I do 100 outreach, I get five new members. When I do door knocking, I get 10 new clients. When I run paid ads, I, get a, three times, ROAS or whatever that might be. So I want to start with kind of the headline of this call, and I also made some slides with the help of AI to make this a little bit more powerful. But we will never make more than our self worth. Okay, we will never make more than our self worth. You could say, right, the easiest thing, you go on Instagram, you go on social media, everybody's making 20 grand, everybody's making 30 grand, everybody's making 50 grand a month, but you feel like it's just you, right? You're the only one that's not at that level, right? And that's why I hate when, entrepreneurs or influencers, whatever we want to call it, or even coaches, right, use their profile as just kind of the highlights, because I think that really, really ruins people's entrepreneurial journey. Yes, it's great for them to be transparent, but I think when you just kind of post those highlights, people don't get to see the stress points. People don't get to see what we're working through. People don't get to see the struggles of maintaining clients or retention or onboarding or whatever it might be. But if you want that goal, right, and you set that goal, hey, I want to make 20K a month because Joe makes that money. I want to make 50K a month because this guy said everybody should make it. If you don't believe that you are worth it, you are going to sabotage yourself. Every day that you don't get to that goal, every day that you don't make a sale, every day that you don't bring somebody on, you're going to sabotage yourself and beat yourself up, right? And a lot of times what that does and what we've seen in terms of, this community or my one-to-one clients is it further enhance that you're not capable, right? You're not able of, being able to achieve that. And we want to be able to obviously work around that. So today, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to talk about rewiring you to think about self-worth, success, and obviously what comes from that, money. Right? A lot of us are after that as our goal. And hey, without money, you don't have a business, right? Without you having a business, without you being an entrepreneur, you're not inside this community. Okay. So, first off is the reality check. And if you see me look into the slides, I'm also trying to go through, for some of the slides that I made. Some of them are good, and some of them I don't want to, share because they didn't come out as the way I would want to. Income rarely exceeds identity, right? You can grind at 5 a.m. every single day, but if your belief system says, "Hey, I'm not worth it," your actions reflect that. Inside of the inner world video, inside of the elite performance blueprint, inside the classroom section, we talk about that in the inner world where it's, hey, a lot of people think that it's like actions equal results. but there's a pillar before it, right? Everybody focus on the habits, everybody focuses on the routines. But if we're not aware of the pillar before, which is our inner world, that's the main thing that really impacts our actions, right? Because if your intention or if your inner world is saying, hey, today's going to be a shitty day. Hey, I'm stuck. Hey, I'm not good enough to run a team. Hey, nobody's answering my outreach. Well, what is your actions going to look like? Are you going to show up and post content? Are you going to be high energy on the sales calls? Are you going to, even follow up with people since they never get back to you and you're not capable of making a sale? Absolutely not, right? So that's where we need to focus. Because again, we could grind, but if our mind isn't aligned, you're not going to be making the progress that you're after or that you feel you're capable of. So that means your business is capped not by the market, right? There's millions of people that are trying to do what you're trying to do, right? And there's billions of people that are trying to buy what the services are that you're trying to provide, right? Whether you're teaching somebody something, whether it's a product you're selling, whether it's a service you're trying to deliver. So it's not capped by the market, it is capped by your mindset. Okay. And so that kind of leads us to, almost like that self-worth ceiling. For us, and this is actually a slide I'm going to share here just to kind of walk you through or talk you through it, is for this is how self-worth, determines everything. Pricing confidence, what you charge, right? And again, if you see me looking over to the side, that's where the slides are up right now. What you charge reflects what you believe you're worth. A lot of times, business owners always talk about, the dropping the price to try to make it easier, right, for people to purchase. But really, it's just a limiting belief for ourselves, right? They always call that, kind of like that race to the bottom, right? Oh, well, people are, paying for this program at 500. Well, if I just charge 250, then, it's going to be easier for people to join this. But at the end of the day, if we don't have good messaging, if we don't have a good product, if we don't show up consistently, people aren't going to just jump on board, right? And a lot of times, confidence is found in the pricing, right? It's in your ability on that call, right? It's what you say after you pitch the price, right? It's, oh, hey, this program is $9,000 a month, but I know that might be a lot, so I'd be willing to do it for 7,000. That just shows us not being confident in the value, or we fear that rejection, which we're actually going to get into that. And that leads us to sales presence, your energy and conviction during client conversations. That's the tone that we need to have, not just on a sales call, but in our content, right? Because if we're not showing up powerfully, if we're not showing up from that expert, kind of figure in our content or in our messaging or in our community post or whatever it is that we're doing, people aren't going to get to the step to want to call or get to the step to want to, book or whatever that might be. Okay. And then the most important, which we are all after, is the daily execution. How you show up, how you deliver, and how you follow through. Do you keep your promise, right? You said, hey, you're going to have a call at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Did you jump on, right? Hey, you said that you were going to, and this is something I'm learning on, right? I'm kind of speaking to myself in these. Okay. Did you go ahead and stick with, everything that you were saying you wanted to, sorry, I thought just had somebody joining. Did you go ahead and, stick to it, right? And what you wanted to accomplish and what you wanted to do and everything along those lines. So here's a little example, right? Undercharging due to the fear of rejection is going to slow your growth by years. Okay. Every yes, right? Every yes at a low price reinforces the low identity, right? Or for, us, the wrong identity. Are people joining your program just because it's cheap and they're like, hey, I got nothing to lose. It's $9, right? So let me just jump in. And then next thing you know, they're not checking in. They're not doing the onboarding steps that you're supposed to do, right? They're not taking it serious. I used to always hate the saying, those that pay attention, but it's so true. Right? It's so true. When people are ready to make that investment and when people know, hey, this number kind of scares me, they're more likely to be accountable, right? So raising your standards is raising your income ceiling. Okay. So that is obviously our focus. That is something we want to be able to continue to, work on. And I'm going to go ahead, I'll share my screen again in a moment here. but we want to continue to improve. We want to continue to overcome that fear. All right. Because believe it or not, in our subconscious mind, in our inner child, we have a fear of success. Again, another thing that I used to always be blind to. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I want to be successful. I want to make a shit ton of money. I'm not scared to say that. I'm not scared to hide from that. But then as you look deeper into it and you stay on this personal growth journey, you start to realize, hey, it's not always a fear of failure that's holding it back. It's the fear of what comes after success, right? So I'm going to give some examples. Maybe, give me a thumbs up in the chat, or, let me know if this resonates with you. If I make more money, I'll have to manage more people, right? And I'm not ready for that step, right? If I grow too fast, right? This is a popular subconscious one. If I grow too fast, I'll burn out. So we almost do the bare minimum work to be like, oh, I can't bring on 10 clients this month because I won't be able to handle that. That's going to be too much. I can't have 30 sales calls. I can't make 100 calls today because then I'll probably be too tired tomorrow. I probably won't be able to show up. So then what do? We limit ourselves today. We don't maximize these 24 hours, and then we don't see the results we wanted tomorrow. But instead, when we can maximize these 24 hours and take advantage of today, right? The only present thing going on, the only thing we have right now, then you start to see the results in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, right? Another thing, last kind of quote here, right? More success means more responsibility and stress. Again, we push back that idea of, oh, I don't want to have too much. I want to do the bare minimum. And by us trying to do the bare minimum, you get the bare minimum. You scrape by, you create more struggle for yourself, right? I'm going to use this as an example. You obviously know this. You guys are in here. This community is $97 a month. And, I used to sell a $8 community, and for me, I would grind, I would hustle, I'd wake up early, I would do all the work. And I was pumped up when I got that $8 client. But that $8 client can't even buy a Starbucks coffee today, right? I just went to Starbucks the other day. I got a tall, which is the smallest Starbucks, right? Because I already had a coffee in the morning. I got mine sitting right here too. A tall coffee, it was like 6.59, right? And I don't know where you're at. If you're in California right now, you're probably paying $9 for that, right? Whatever it might be. But it's so, so, so crazy. I was fired up because, again, starting the business, I thought it was a big win. But I would so much rather, and raise your hand, comment, right, whatever, give me a thumbs up. Who here wants to grind and make $1,000, right, in a day, right? Who wants to grind and make $8 in a day? Nobody wants that side, right? I know, Patrick, you just said it for $1,000 a day, right? We don't want to hustle for, and again, there's different parts of the process, right? There's different automations. Hey, this guy just started following me from a YouTube video. Then he clicked on my, cheaper program. Now I get him in. Yes, that is a part of business, right? That's sometimes the process that we take. But we want to be hustling, for the latter one, or for the first one, right? We want to be grinding, hustling, putting our time in, setting in automations, making calls, and getting that payday, right? And again, that goes back to the start of the call. We are all about what is taking place in our inner world. So reframe the fear. Fear is a sign that you are stepping into that new identity. So many times we can put a finger on it. We all know you don't need a one-to-one coaching call with me. You don't need a one-to-one coaching call with the top guru, whatever expert, right? I always say this, I'm not perfect, right? I'm not the perfect coach, but me staying on this journey is going to make me better and better. But you can put your finger on it and say, hey, this is the thing that's freaking holding me back. I'm too scared of having to hire people on if I grow. I'm too scared of having too many orders coming in and getting, overwhelmed, right? A lot of times, or it's, hey, I'm too freaking scared to show up every day, right? Because I'm worried about being tired. I'm worried about, putting in all this time and not seeing it pay off. Right. And I know all this stuff is going to resonate. You guys know within your mind what it is. So instead of, hey, I'm not ready, try, right? And again, a lot of it is self-talk. It's coming down to that. And this isn't just a look in the mirror type stuff. This is like how we live our days, how we operate. I'll grow into the leader success requires me to be, right? I'm going to become that person. Money amplifies impact, not problems, right? If I stay disciplined, right? So, especially if you're like in the coaching space, sales space, you making money is a direct reflection of you and your skills, right? If I have 5 people join this month and 5 people join every month after, but every month after 5 people leave, my business doesn't grow, right? So yes, I might be good at selling, I might be good at whatever, but hey, there's a reason people aren't staying. It's shit, it's the product, right? Sometimes we expect where it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm showing up every day, I'm doing this, I'm doing whatever, and we have nothing to show for it. Well, it's like, what is it that you're putting in, right? Like, are you just checking the box, or is the quality of what you're putting in truly what is going to create that, life for yourself? Okay. So here's the identity shift question. And I've already kind of said this, and I'm going to share this slide again because I'm happy with how this one came out. All right. Who do you want to be? Okay. Who do you want to be? The entrepreneur who wakes up, right? Writes in the accountability channel inside of this call, right? Or inside of the Skool community. And you're like, hey, waking up 5 a.m., doing whatever, and you're staying broke, right? Hey, you might be broke to start off, and that's okay, right? Everybody starts from a different place. Everybody takes risks and lose some money, whatever it might be. But do we want that where month after month after month after month, there's no signs of success? There's no new members calling. There's no new people signing up. There's no yeses. There's no confidence being built in our voice. It's like, hey, sometimes at the end of the month, we're like, hey, this is the best month I've ever had financially. I'm fired up. Other months, we end feeling like, hey, I feel super, I might not have made the most money, but I feel super dialed in on my non-negotiables. I'm feeling more and more confident on my sales calls. I'm understanding how to, go past objections or how to sell myself at the door, or my content is improving. I'm getting better views. Again, it's not all money, right? Money is sometimes just kind of the byproduct of how we're showing up, right? The quality and the caliber that we are showing up. Okay, so who do we want to be, right? Do we want to be that person that year after year, it's, yeah, I stick to my morning routine because this is what the successful stay they do? Or do you want to be waking up at 5, 6 a.m., fired up, pumped up, saying, hey, this is exactly why I'm rich, right? This is exactly why, I'm putting in the same effort as these guys, but I'm more successful, right? It's because, hey, you wake up with a plan. Hey, you wake up and you're intentional. Hey, you wake up and you know exactly what your mission is. You know exactly what you're after. Other people are like, all right, I woke up at 5 a.m. Now let me just drag through this day and then I'll check in and say I woke up at 5 a.m. and question why I'm not successful, right? In a little bit of time. That is not what we're after, right? That is not what we're after. So the roadmap to self-worth, okay, just kind of keeping this going. You guys could give me a thumbs up if you could see my slide though in the on your screen or in the chat. Let me know if you could just see that. I just want to make sure you guys do see them. Perfect. Awesome. Appreciate it. So, for this, the roadmap to self worth, number one is awareness. Okay. Notice where you are undercharging. Okay. Doubting or self sabotaging. If your number one role is coaching, and you are jumping on your coaching calls, not giving your best foot, not trusting yourself, not framing yourself as the expert so that the person on the other side actually believes you and actually believes that they are capable as well, right? Because a big job for us is getting them to believe that they can truly accomplish something, right? Shifting something in their mind, in their day, in their actions, in their systems, whatever that might be. If you are a salesperson, right? If you are a salesperson and you are not fully jumping on that call, understanding the product that you are selling, or understanding that you, right? They always say assume the sale, that you are going to close them, right? Then you are completely undervaluing, undercharging, underperforming and self-sabotaging yourself. Because that is your moneymaker. That is your top priority, right? I don't care if you gave your workout 1,000%, but then you showed up on your sales call and you're like, I know it might be a little expensive. Maybe we can do this. Like again, you're basically telling the person not to pay full price, right? Don't make that decision for them, let them make that decision. Okay. Alignment. Set goals that match the identity that you're actually stepping into. Okay. So many times we started the call with this. Don't say you want to make 20 grand because Tony on Instagram is making 20 grand. Don't say that you want to make 50 grand a month because the top coach, just launched his community 3 days ago and is automatically already at 50K, said that everybody there's people out there that say, hey, you should feel stupid if you're not making this amount, right? And hey, maybe sometimes, maybe there is truth behind that, right? But what are your goals? What do you need? Have you actually reverse engineered that to say, hey, in order for me to get to this level, this is what I need to become the best at. This is what I need to get really good at. Okay. Patrick, crush it on your call. This is recorded, and it's going to be posted inside of the community as well. All right, keep checking in, and hopefully your day 4 of the fitness challenge is getting taken care of. Make sure you prioritize that. Number 3, action. Charge your worth. Raise your standards and deliver at a higher level. Your homework from this call, right? Your homework could be, hey, you know what? Screw it. I'm raising my service from 29 to 39. Hey, you know what? I'm raising my community from free to $9. Hey, you know what? Chris is absolutely right. I'm not saying anything after I say it's $700,000 to join the course or program, right? I don't know if there's a $700,000 program out there, but I'm sure there probably is somewhere, right? Somebody's probably charging that, and somebody's probably willing to pay. Obviously, that all comes down to the value and what people, get from it. Okay. But challenge yourself. Okay. Charge your worth. And if there's a misalignment in that where we truly are scared to bump your price, why are you scared? Right? Are you scared to be paid what you're worth? Are you scared that people are going to say no? Are you scared to, you know, not be have, not have a certain amount of people paying that? Like, what is it that's holding you back, right? What is that limiting belief? And that's what we need to get to, right? That's the deeper stuff. The final thing is accountability. All right. Surround yourself with high performance peers. You guys have already done that, right? You guys have already done that, but now take advantage of it, right? After this call, like I said, this recording is going to be posted in the community. Ask questions, right? So many times, and I've been guilty of this, jumping on coaching calls where I'm not the person running the call, right? In a program I've invested in, I have this question. I'm like, you know what? If I write this question, they're probably going to ask me to unmute and probably going to ask me to like go deeper into that. Damn, I don't want to do that right now. I don't want to be speaking in front of these 50 people, 100 people, whatever. And then what do? I don't ask the question at all. And then what do? I go the next 2 weeks, next 2 months, next 2 years struggling with the same thing because I had some sort of fear holding me back, right? You guys will probably relate in so many different ways from that. Use this community, ask questions, be accountable. Even if you check not a single box, go deep into it, journal it, write your reflection. Hey, this is why I didn't show up. I made excuses all day. And, once we release that, we become more powerful. Okay, practical takeaways. We're going into this. We are wrapping up this. I'm actually going to skip ahead to kind of the final slide here, for you. But I want you guys to think about some of these questions and whether you want to write them down or whatnot. Is where am I currently undercharging or undervaluing myself? What subconscious fears of success am I carrying? Am I worried about being more stressed? Am I worried about having too much to handle? Am I worried about not being able to maintain it? Or am I just thinking that, hey, I am not capable, right? I am not able to sell 1,000 people. I'm not able to manage this. I'm not able to run a team. I'm not able to, you know, hold on to $20,000 a month, whatever it might be. Okay. This is my favorite question. Okay. If I fully believed, right, I was worth, we'll say 15 to $30,000 a month, how would I act differently tomorrow so that we could put some thought into it? But what are you going to do right after this call? Right? What is the number one thing you're going to do immediately following this call? Is that person going to, go have bag of Lay's chips, right? Is that person going to go buy food when you already got a meal prepped? Is that person going to go fold the clothes instead of choosing to do outreach? Is that person going to hide behind, their screen and not put themselves out there and not sell themselves, right? Raise our prices. Boom. Love it, right? That's probably the easiest homework assignment because hey, you get to just click a button, right? But then it's like, hey, how do we sell at that? How do we get that value to keep building? What do I got to post? What do I got to do? What do I need to add? And a lot of times, this is another lesson for myself. Every time I went to raise my prices, I was like, all right, well, then we probably have to add another call. I probably have to try to add videos to the course. But that was just a lie. Because then what would I do? Then I would tell myself, okay, well, then if I need to do these things before I raise my prices, well, then I can't raise my price now. Let me go build a new course. Let me go add the call. Let me go implement it first. And the next thing you know, you get it pushed off and you don't raise the prices. You don't need to add a single thing to raise prices, right? You don't need to add 7 calls a week. You don't need to add one-to-one VIP access, right? You just need to see the value in what you're trying to create. And again, you're creating a filter. If people are not serious, if people are not ready, they don't sign up. So, would you rather get somebody that's serious and somebody that's going to check in and share value and add more and give more than you take? I love that. Jason, you said that yesterday, right? Or are you going to get the person that jumps in for $9? You feel, excited. You hear the bing, the cha-ching, whatever. And then next thing you know, they leave 3 days later, cancel their free trial, unsubscribe, whatever it might be. Okay. We got to be able to show up in a powerful way. So self-worth equals net worth. Everything comes from our inner world. If you're here watching this live right now or watching the recording, if you haven't seen the inner world video inside the program or it's been a little bit of time, go back to that, right? Understand the process. Confidence is built by keeping promises to yourself. Okay. Your mind is either going to be chaining you to average or it's going to free you to abundance. Okay. The choice is yours. We don't want to be, we never show up powerfully when we're chasing something, right? Obviously, yes, we're hustling, we're grinding, we're going after things. But when we are just chasing it, hey, I need a sale. Hey, I have to get somebody to sign up right now. We get pushy. We don't pay attention to the details. Somebody asks a question and we just try to get them on a call. Somebody has a worry and we totally ignore it and we just keep trying to sell, and we push them away further. But when we can show up, right, powerfully, a lot of times, next thing you know, you get that person where it's like, hey, so and so said they're loving your community and they recommend it. I just had a quick question. You're like, oh, sure. Awesome. You answer a simple question, they join without a sales call. They join without questions. They join without hesitating. Because why? Right? Because the value, the product, the service, the whatever was that good that, hey, people are talking about it. People want to be a part of it. And then they stay. Right. And now you have yourself a business, right? You don't have yourself that roller coaster of, hey, shoot, 5 people joined, but I know 5 people are leaving next month, so let's go get another 5. And then you're grinding and what? Right? We don't feel good when we're hustling, hustling, hustling. There's nothing to show for it. But look deeper into that. Why is there nothing to show for it? Right? Why is it the same result? Is it me that has to be more powerful? Is it me that needs to believe a little bit more that I'm capable of it? Is it me that needs to sell it more? Right? Is it me that truly needs to change the value in here? Maybe I'm doing surface level things. Maybe I need to really take my coaching to the next level or skill. Think about these questions, right? Self worth equals net worth, right? Or leads you to net worth. Okay. We will never make more than our self worth. All right. First ever Skool live Thursday strategy session. Again, every Thursday, you guys are going to we're talking different mindset shifts, confidence, growth, all of that stuff. We're talking time management, energy management. We're going to probably do in the upcoming week because we got, the next quarter starting up here in October, probably a, calendar reset, right? Going in there, realigning ourselves to the finishing off the end of the year, marking down those big rocks. We got, a bunch of holidays coming up. How do we prepare ourselves? How do we keep growing? All right. So keep asking questions in the community, keep showing up. and make it happen. Awesome seeing you guys, and I'll see you next week.